Hello, this is Craig Larson with Larson Financial Advisors for the Market Minute, August 6th, 2019. Today is the China tariff stock market drop episode, and I wanted to cover some information that's been happening over the last week, of course, in markets. And number one, I wanted to just cover China, first of all. So I would just say, with friends like this, who needs enemies? And when you get to some specifics on China, you'd find that for several decades now, the tariffs have been significantly out of balance. You can, search on the internet, find out information and specifics on this. I want to say, just in general, tariffs on U.S. goods going into China had about 10 times higher tariff than Chinese goods coming into the U.S. before all the tariff war started. Okay, so there was a huge imbalance that needed to be corrected. Secondly, you've got 5 separate occasions in recent history where Chinese naval ships have tried to ram U.S. naval ships. Okay, that's not too friendly. We don't want to start a kinetic war here, but the aggression has been from the other side. Cyber attacks, okay, and then the just rampant theft of intellectual property. And some of this intellectual property is of a sensitive national security issue. Okay, it's a military high secrets. So this just needed to stop. So now we're in the process of doing that. And ultimately, I think that's good for our own country. But of course, as investors, it makes things very difficult because volatility is very difficult for people to handle. People get emotional. We wonder, is this just a correction or is it the beginning of a next bear market, and so on and so forth. So I thought we'd just look at a few other data points. Number one, even in spite of the last week, okay, the weakness over the last week, the U.S. stock market on relative strength is still out-muscling international stocks. It's out-muscling commodities and bonds and cash and so on and so forth. So from a long-term investor perspective, there's no need to panic at this point. Only one of my 5 trend indicators has turned negative over the last week. So we're still in a pretty positive environment. This could have just been the impetus for a long overdue correction, right? Secondly, China has a lot more to lose in this deal than we do. According to Kyle Bass, who, hedge fund legend, China's reserve of dollars is gone. They're running a currency deficit of dollars. So they had no other thing to do other than to devalue their currency. So what happened with the big drop on Monday was they devalued the Chinese yuan against the dollar in an effort to make their exports more competitive. And they didn't really have a lot of other chess moves other than that. What it does, though, in addition to making their exports more competitive, is it also makes their imports more expensive. So China has to still purchase a lot of oil and steel and copper and materials on the global markets, and nobody wants yuan. They want dollars or maybe euros. So this has painted China into a corner. And I really think they've just got a lot more to lose financially than we do on this deal. A lot of American companies in China have already relocated or are in the process of relocating manufacturing elsewhere. And it's probably not going to go back. So it appears maybe China's last hope is just waiting it out a year and hoping that Trump loses, because it doesn't appear that the competitors are going to be as hard-nosed on this kind of thing or have enough guts to put up a fight against China. So as far as investing goes, it's been pretty rough. Make sure that you stick with your strategy. And if you're out there and you don't have a well-articulated strategy for investing, then you should have one, and I'd be glad to help you with that. If you have a strategy, make sure that you stick with it. If the plan is to buy and hold, as tough as it is, you better buy and hold. If your plan is to use stop losses and protect capital and then have a re-entry strategy, make sure you stick with that. Don't make any rash emotional decisions at this point. And again, call me or email me if you have any questions or you'd like assistance on that. I'd be glad to help. So have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and I'll be back with another video hopefully soon.